Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 My Team Career Mode with me, Dan, at the Radiant Racing team, as we come to round 12. 5 races to go. Following this one in the USA at the Circuit of the Americas, we have Mexico, Brazil, Australia, and then finally the finale in Jeddah. So we're really getting close to the end of the season now. And of course, you've got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday videos to look forward to. Now, I've personally completely finished the season, but you will have to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to know what the final results will be of this championship. And I hope you all like it. And we'll get on to F1 22. Anyway, on to the starting grid order. We're actually starting on pole position for the first time in a long time here in the USA, alongside Sergio Perez. Then we're followed by Max Verstappen and our teammate Sean Gelael. Following them, we have Pierre Gasly. He's had a very good qualifying this time, alongside Valtteri Bottas. And then the 8-time world champion Lewis Hamilton lines up alongside Daniel Ricciardo. Then we have the two Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10. They're followed by Lando Norris alongside Yuki Tsunoda, which likely means that, yes, there he is, Fernando Alonso is not far behind. Then we have Esteban Ocon P14. George Russell actually makes the move up to P15 ahead of Lance Stroll. Then we have Nicholas Latifi and Mick Schumacher on the third row from the back, followed by Antonio Giovinazzi and Jack Aitken. And that means on the back row we have Christian Lundgaard and Nikita Mazepin. Well, this one's going to be a really short one today because of this rain. It did mean that overtaking was a bit of a pain. Qualifying was dry, so this is the first time that we've run in the wet. And of course, it's one of the only wet races we've had, besides, I think Canada was the only other race. And, well, don't be fooled by the wet weather. We are in for some changeable conditions as the race goes on. We've already lost 3 positions there to 2 Red Bulls and Sean Gelael. And actually, as we start to break away from the pack, Pierre Gasly, who started 4th, has dropped back and has started to bunch the field up down in 6th position, really pushing the top 10 or the back end of the top 10 away from the leaders. As for us, we are sinking into the ground in Codemaster's typical fashion and attempting to try and get alongside our teammate here, or at least just close enough to the back of him to try and retake one of the lost positions. You could see our front wing literally smashing into the ground, ripping up tarmac as we come down the back straight there. Let's go on board with the start and see what the hell happened there whilst I was nattering. As is usual, just too much wheel spin, just exacerbated by the wet weather. And you see that Sean Gelael actually tries to go up the inside of Max Verstappen. We'll look at that in a moment, but was unsuccessful. As for us, not our greatest moment there. And this was our teammate Sean Gelael, initially off to a good start. You see Verstappen goes up the right hand side of us, then just like comes across here on Gelael. Gelael, had he not steered there into the first corner, probably would have taken that position quite easily. And this was the onboard of Lewis Hamilton a little further back, who made up a couple of positions. I just thought it was interesting to throw in here, so we got something to watch today. He gets past Daniel Ricciardo, gets past Yuki Tsunoda, then Yuki Tsunoda comes back at him, as does Daniel Ricciardo, forcing him onto the sausage curbs, and they all fall into the same order they were in beforehand. So we rejoin Sean Gelael. As you can see, the rain has stopped, and Sergio Perez has come into the pits for some soft tyres. Our teammate will come in now, as is
Box.
As is Max Verstappen, and evidently us as well, as the other Red Bull gets his tyres there. We are in the background with with Valtteri Bottas behind us and Carlos Sainz. That's actually Pierre Gasly. How have I been so wrong? Bottas is somewhere. Oh, we've been held, actually, by Valtteri Bottas, followed by Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz. So that wasn't ideal. We've already had one terrible race this season. That was in Monza, where we didn't even score any points. This is not going to be very helpful. But we should get DRS, I believe, on this lap, so we won't be behind this Ferrari for very long. You can already see the Ferrari's not very strong this season. It's already dropped back from AlphaTauri, which I think at this point have the best chassis, which has meant that they've been really competitive. On the other hand, though, reliability-wise, I think we're cutting it pretty fine. Recycling the older parts from earlier on in the season to do practice, just to try and keep the wear down on the best parts that I'm using for the race. As we go down the down the outside of Carlos Sainz, easily past the Ferrari, overcorrect there. Not what you want to see when driving an F1 car, that's for sure. But yeah, we have significantly improved the reliability, so I think we should get to the end of the season just about. Although I think we are going to take one component only in the next race, just because we couldn't get the reliability upgrades in time, and that will be the control electronics, because that will also determine the fate of most of the other components, so we cannot risk not replacing it. Anyway, Lewis Hamilton has come into the pits. I don't know whether he's just stayed out there or whether he's already been in, as we rejoin Sergio Perez at the front, actually, in a battle with his teammate for the win here. And he's actually coming into the pit lane because he was the first guy to come in on the soft tyres. And apparently they were not good enough to get to the end. The one thing to make note of here is that I think we are the only car on track, as displayed there, with the medium tyres on. Everyone else went to the soft. And I think the reason they did that, as we see Sergio Perez come out the pit lane now. We draw alongside him into turn one. Can we get ahead of the number 2 Red Bull driver? Apparently not, because he is on soft tyres. Which, as I was saying, I believe the AI still has an extra set of soft tyres left over from qualifying. Unfortunately, because I was not very good on my first few runs, I used an extra set in Q2 or 3 to try and secure a good time, and it's cost me dearly. So now I've had to use my only new set of tyres, which are these mediums, in this race. And bear in mind, we were going from lap 5 to the end of the race. It didn't really seem plausible that we could get 10 laps out of the soft tyre. I mean, it's proved to us that Sergio Perez absolutely couldn't. Of course, we don't know if his were new or not. Definitely would not have been able to do it on worn ones. But yeah, that was basically the rest of the race. Nothing else was happening. Lewis Hamilton somehow ended up in 18th. I don't know how. But Max Verstappen rounds the final corner. Sean Galeo, thankfully, is able to pick up the pieces of where we failed. Pierre Gasly coming round, picks up a podium for AlphaTauri. Shortly behind him is Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas. But he crosses the line, and then not far behind him as well, we are coming round the final corner now. Esteban Ocon somehow just got past Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes are really not having a good day. We tried to have a massive accident, but it's just not happening today. And we're about to see who the driver of the day is. George Russell. Because of course it is. I mean, he did have a very good start in P15. I don't know where he finished. We'll have to have a look at that in a moment. But, well, Max Verstappen picks up another win. I was starting to think that Sergio Perez was going to take over as the prime driver soon enough, but no, he has not. And Verstappen will upset the points balance that we have at the top of the Drivers' Championship. We'll see that in just a moment. Anyway, but what a podium that is. Max Verstappen standing alongside Sean Gelael, the KFC man, followed by Pierre Gasly, who has wandered off to the other side of the podium because he's antisocial. Anyway, let's get on with the final results. And here we are with the final results. Max Verstappen, of course, picks up the win, followed by Sean Gelael and Pierre Gasly. Then behind them we had Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez with the fastest lap. Then we came in P6, followed by Lando Norris, George Russell, who actually scored points here. That's how he got driver of the day. Fernando Alonso and Yuki Tsunoda round out the point scorers. And all this leads over in the Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen closes the gap down to just 12 points. And it's a big leap back to Sergio Perez on 144, just 4 points ahead of Sean Gelael now. It's getting really close there. Then we have Lewis Hamilton about to break into the triple digits still. Valtteri Bottas. Then Pierre Gasly leaps up to 7th ahead of Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. And then Yuki Tsunoda also jumps up the table to tie P10 with Carlos Sainz. Further down the order, we have Fernando Alonso just narrowly ahead of Charles Leclerc. Then the other Alpine of Esteban Ocon ahead of Nicholas Latifi. George Russell and Lance Stroll tied for 16th, followed by Jack Aitken, the final point scorer. Then we have Antonio Giovinazzi, Christian Lundgaard, Mick Schumacher, and Nikita Mazepin. And finally, over in the Constructors, Radiant Racing, we are still just about in the lead by 8 points. Of course, Mercedes have pretty much solidified third. There's nothing much that's going to happen there. Then we have McLaren into the triple figures now, followed by AlphaTauri shortly behind them, Ferrari, Alpine, Williams in 8th, Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo and Haas. That's all for today. We'll catch you in the next one.